It's not looking good for Donald Trump. His physical health is rapidly deteriorating before our eyes, as is his cognitive abilities. Yesterday, when Donald Trump was giving that unhinged speech at an event for veterans where he was, I guess, ignoring questions from the press about the invasion of Iran, you can see Donald Trump's neck right there had this horrible rash, and it looked like there were lesions developing. We know that Donald Trump's first, his right hand was discolored, and many people believed it was potentially from IV injections, but it was definitely discolored. And his left hand was discolored. He was trying to slop makeup all over that. And now he's got the rash on his neck. Before, you also saw he had that droopy face that almost looked like he was exhibiting post-stroke-like symptoms. We rewind a little bit, of course, and, he struggles to walk straight. All of this is happening before our eyes. Remember when Donald Trump rolled out the red carpet for Vladimir Putin in Alaska, and the cameras were rolling, and we captured him at the MeidasTouch network, zigzagging, cannot walk in a straight line. Same thing when he was in Japan before Prime Minister Takahashi. He needed to be chaperoned and walk around. He, again, couldn't walk in a straight line. We know that his speech patterns he can't connect sentences anymore. He continues to talk about not getting into heaven and that the end is near. Words to the effect of, I don't think I'm going to get into heaven. I don't think I'm going to, I really wish I got into heaven. And you've just this utterly deranged behavior. You all saw, again, take a look. This is a real photo. This isn't AI. This isn't enhanced. This is what he looked like yesterday. A reminder of what his hands looked like. The White House doctor who covers up for him, Sean Barbarella, released this statement. This is the same guy who said that Donald Trump was getting a preventative MRI, and then they said it wasn't an MRI. It was a CT scan. No, it wasn't a CT scan, but it was just of the abdomen. That same guy, Barbarella, who said that it was a preventative CT or first it was an MRI. He's the guy who did this statement. Trump is using a very common cream on the right side of his neck, which is a preventative skin treatment prescribed by the White House doctor. The president is using this treatment for 1 week, and the redness is expected to last for a few weeks. Preventative? We see whatever that rash is. Dr. Reiner explains, preventative skin treatment, such as topical 5-fluorosil, are commonly used to prevent overt skin cancer in people with precancerous skin lesions. We don't know what specific treatment the president is receiving, but why all the secrecy for something that is potentially easy to treat and very common in older people? Lots of people are saying what this probably is some sort of precancerous skin lesion, and the topical cream was used to potentially address that. But now they're covering that up. They were covering up the MRIs. They're covering up Butler, Pennsylvania medical records. Remember, they never produced the Butler, Pennsylvania records. When Donald Trump does go to Walter Reed, rather than actually give a medical report, it's like Donald Trump's good health is evidenced by the fact that he plays very good golf. And then they act like he's like 6'3" or 6'4", like 210 pounds, which he, absolutely isn't. But, one notable thing that as the United States is at war right now, Donald Trump had Benjamin Netanyahu go on state regime media to try to make the case and explain the war to the people of the United States. He's basically delegating everything to Netanyahu right now. And then Rubio went out, and Rubio said America went to war with Iran because Netanyahu was going to go to war with Iran first, and then Iran was going to strike back at the United States if Israel struck Iran first. So that's why we went to war. But have you noticed that, Donald Trump usually is the guy who goes on state regime media. He answers the questions. Right now, he's calling reporters and saying a bunch of deranged, unhinged things to them. as he calls them one by one. And he says like different things to them, like, this is what war is about. People die in war. So I guess that's what's going to happen. Or when people say, hey, what are you going to do next? Or do we have enough munitions? We'll see what happens. We'll see. It is what it is. But he's just basically what? He had Melania show up at the United Nations yesterday and address the Security Council. Netanyahu basically what? Serve as like the shadow president? I don't know. Netanyahu was explaining why there was a war with Iran. Then there was this moment too. This is really insane right here. So at that event that Donald Trump was at, let's play the video right here so everybody can see it. Trump puts a medal on a veteran. And the way the White House couldn't even afford long ribbons. And so they put this ribbon over the veteran, and Trump struggles to put the ribbon on. I'll just play you the clip. Watch this. He struggles to put the ribbon on. The ribbon's like choking the guy. And then the audience claps for Trump like he's like a seal at SeaWorld who ate a sardine or something. Like, what are we even watching here? Here, play this clip. Yeah. So then regarding, as I told you, the statements that he's making to reporters, this is what his statement is about ground troops, about putting boots on the ground in Iran. This is what he told the New York Post. I don't have the yips with respect to boots on the ground, like every president says. There will be no boots on the ground. I don't say it. I say probably don't need them. Or if they're necessary, no yips. I don't have the yips. I don't have the yips. That's your statement right there. Or when Donald Trump was speaking to the group of veterans, he started just talking about the ballroom yesterday. Do you remember that? Here, play this clip.
Thank you, everybody. We have a lot of great service members here with us, too, in this beautiful building. Isn't it beautiful? We're adding on to the building a little bit. We're improving the building. See that nice drape? When that comes down, right now you see a very, very deep hole. But in about a year and a half from now, you're going to see a very, very beautiful building. And there's your entrance to it right there. In fact, it looks so nice, I think I'll save money on the doors, because it can't get more beautiful than that. I picked those drapes in my first term. I always like gold, but I think we can save a lot of money. I just saved curtains.
Or just how about some of the social media posts he's been making? He's been posting continuously about Lady Gaga's dad. Lady Gaga's dad voted for me in 2024, he says. Okay, he starts posting about Richard Nixon and how he's better at going after the deep state than Richard Nixon was. He's randomly posting free Tina Peters, the kind of insurrectionist who's in prison in Colorado for many years. He's writing free Tina Peters. Then he's posting like random statements about the State of the Union. An absolute all-time close for Donald Trump. Everyone on the right should enjoy listening to this while they can. How times have changed. Trump gave an artful and moving speech illustrating his policies with a parade of hero Americans. This is an incredibly positive pro-American speech. Dude, the State of the Union was a long time. What are you doing? You're going to just start posting away like nothing's happened. By the way, I'll just show you over the past, few days. He keeps on talking about heaven, and am I going to go to heaven or not? Here he is, the end of last week or whenever, right after the tariff ruling. I'll show you this one first, where he goes. This is where he starts talking about a guy. Okay, let me show you a few things. First, he keeps talking about a guy wanting to kiss him. A guy wants to kiss you so badly. Did that guy kiss your neck, Donald? Here, play this clip.
Around the clock, almost 7 days a week. He said, "Sir, I want to kiss you so badly." And I said, "No, thank you." But you know what? He just.
Or when he was in a factory in Rome, Georgia, he was like, the guy, he wants to kiss my neck. Everyone's trying to kiss me. They all want to kiss my neck. What are you even talking about?
He said, "President, if I didn't have all these cameras running, I would grab you and start kissing you violently." And I said, "Why is that?" He said, "Because what you've done for us economically in this state, in this town, with the tariffs in particular, So I want to just introduce Andrew. Thank you very much.
Okay, and here was Donald Trump saying in Rome, Georgia, I don't think I'm going to make it to heaven. Play this clip.
I said, I don't think I'm going to make it to heaven in front of a massive group of people, 56,000 people. And they were all saying, oh, what does he mean? I don't think I'm going to make it to heaven. I'm doing a great job for a lot of people, but I don't think so. I'm just not worthy of heaven. I'm not going to make it. And I was having a good time going, I was having fun. I hope to make it. But I doubt I will, to be honest with you. A lot of you will. I'm not so sure. But I was having fun.
Here he was on Air Force One saying he's not going to make it to heaven. Play this clip.
You had talked a couple weeks ago, you were doing an interview, and you talked about how you hope to end the war in Ukraine because it might help you get into heaven. How does this help? Does this help?
I mean, I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Okay, I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven.
And here he was recently saying the same thing at the White House. You can just see it for yourself. Let's play it.
His final moments, Charlie testified to the greatness of America and to the glory of our Savior, with whom he now rests in heaven. And he is going to make heaven. I said, I'm not sure I can make it, but he's going to make it. He's there. He's looking down on us right now. It's so incredible. Look at this, how this turned out. This was supposed to be so dark and cloudy. Not dark and cloudy, I said. Look at that, how beautiful that is. There's no artist that can capture it as beautiful as it is today. Wow.
By the way, even Marjorie Taylor Greene's noticed, and she's like, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Megyn Kelly are like, Donald Trump keeps on saying that he's not going to make it to heaven. Like, how could we have someone lead us who's behaving like that? Even Marjorie Taylor Greene is out there saying that. Here, play this clip.
And then we have the president who, by the way, Megyn, this really needs to be said. Donald Trump has said repeatedly on camera and in interviews, he doesn't think he's going to heaven. Well, I want to ask a question, a serious question. What is in his mind? What is his mental state? If he doesn't think he's going to heaven and he is a man towards the end, he's in the fourth quarter. He's towards the end of his life. How does that pan out for the rest of us when we have a president of the United States who doesn't think and is convinced he's not going to heaven? What does that mean his decision making is? He already said to the New York Post today that he doesn't care about the polling. He doesn't care about what the American people think, and he may put troops on the ground. He took this is going to be a few-day war, to now it's going to be maybe 4 weeks or more. I want to say, what is happening to the man that I supported, you supported, the man that denounced what happened in Iraq, the man that said no more foreign wars, no more regime change, promise it on the campaign. J.D. Vance promised it. Tulsi Gabbard promised it. All of them promised it. And we're a year in, and we're in another fucking war, and we've got American troops being killed. I think it's time for America to rip the Band-Aid off, and we need to have a serious conversation about what the fuck is happening to this country and who in the hell are these decisions being made for, and who is making these decisions.
And then he keeps on looking at the audience and saying, we're hot. Like, he keeps pointing to the audience saying, you're hot. I was going to say how hot you are. Here, watch this.
And now we're hot. We're hot. I was going to say like that person in the audience, but I won't say that because that could be career ending.
Or at that speech with the veteran, he saw a young, attractive person who he was attracted to, and he was like, you've got good genes. I'm going to tell you what that means. You have very good genes. Here, play this clip.
Genetics in that family are very strong, right? I said that before. All three families, I said, good. I see some of the young ones today, and I said, you have good genes. They were asking me, what does that mean? I said, don't worry about it. You'll figure it out. But you have the best genes you can have, actually.
And so, folks, yeah, you have all of this going on in the past. You know, this is going on while we're in war right now. While he launched a war. The guy can't put sentences together. You saw what's on his neck. You see what's on his hands. You see he can't walk straight. Look, we're going to keep uncovering this on the MeidasTouch Network all of the time. Well, because it's obvious. The same way the cover-up of the Epstein files was obvious, why we've been covering it for years. years. We're going to cover it all. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the MeidasTouch podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for new updates every single day.